Welcome back to Sunrise, and thanks for still being with us wherever you're logged in from around the world. We get into our Fully Bright section. Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, Mia Boykins has been shaped by humble beginnings. She launched her first major nonprofit organization, Student Emergency Assistance, originally conceptualized to create a scholarship fund at Spelmont College to help juniors and seniors who were at risk of expulsion because of an inability to clear outstanding fees. She's a global business leader and award-winning humanitarian. Mia Boykins, welcome to the couch at Sunrise. Good morning.
Mia, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
It's so good to have you.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, let's start about you, and let's go back to your Spelman days.
Okay.
What got you into wanting to help other people?
You know, as I said, humble beginnings. So where I come from, a lot of people, like in, my family on my mother's side, and also just like the environment that I grew up, they didn't really value education. So a lot of people just graduated high school and then they just started working. So when I ended up going to Spelman, I saw so many people. It's an HBCU, historically black college and university. So I saw so many people that looked like me, but they were hungry for knowledge. I mean, these girls were exceptional 4.0s, but they just couldn't afford the school. So several of my friends were on the verge for getting put out, and I was actually sharing with my father about it. My father ended up helping one of my friends since she was able to stay in school and finish and graduate from Spelman, and he actually inspired me to start the Student Emergency Assistance Scholarship.
So how exactly did you go about it? You saw the need, you felt that, this was something that was important to you, but how did you go about helping people with these scholarships?
So it's so funny, when I started, it was about 15 years ago, before TikTok, social media, and everything.
Yeah.
So I actually did a letter writing campaign. I wrote a letter. I still have the letter to this day. My aunt worked at a place. She's an accountant, so they had free mailing. I had her send it out to everyone in the family and friends. And
Hey, Dennis, that's old school,
That's so old school, Yes. So I raised the first $5,000 for the fund, and I officially established it through the university and awarded the first scholarship by the time I was a senior.
How do you choose the recipients? How does it work?
So I like to stay completely out of those matters. So with Spelman, I met with the scholarship committee. I established the criteria, and they actually select the scholarship recipient.
Okay. And so let's fast forward a bit. Now you're here in Jamaica, pursuing more studies. Tell us a little bit about how did you end up here, because you're not Jamaican.
Definitely not. Global citizen. Jamaica is the 6th country I've lived in, which is very exciting. And at first it took a long time to transition, but actually I love Jamaica. I almost don't want to go back to the U.S. now. But so I was working in the government prior to starting the PhD in government at UWI. And some of the government leaders were speaking to me, and they were like, oh, what are you going to do next? And I was like, I'm thinking about doing a PhD. And actually, it was the former Governor General, Sir Hall, who told me about UWI.
Yes. He was principal.
And he told me, he was like, oh, I know a great school. Come out to Jamaica. I'll introduce you to everyone. And I ended up starting a PhD.
Wow.
Nice, nice. And so you said it's the 6th country you've lived in. You've done pretty great stuff in other parts of the world too. Tell us a little bit about your humanitarian work.
Yeah, so I actually just got back from Ghana. I was in Accra. My business partner and I, we adopted an orphanage there in Jamestown. And so what we did last year was we had a water wheel drilled and built. It was an intense process. They drilled 65 meters in the ground until they found water. And so we were able to provide water for over 3,000 people in the community and also the animals. Yeah, so that was really awesome.
What keeps you motivated, though, to keep doing new projects, helping people? What drives you?
To be honest, I love giving back and I love helping people. I think that it helps me. And I also like to just focus on what I'm passionate about. Sometimes in life, you really have to create your own opportunities, and opportunities might not exist for you. So basically, I just, at Spelman, we have a motto, be the change you want to see in the world. And so I really stand on that, and I just try to create things for myself and for others that I think are valuable.
Do you have anyone or any place that you've helped that has really stood out to you? It's close to your heart that maybe you want to share?
Well, In 2016, I partnered with the United Nations Refugee Agency in Barcelona, Spain, when I was living there doing my second master's. And that was a really phenomenal event. It was for Syrian refugees. We raised enough money to provide housing and shelter for 2 families. That was phenomenal, and it was really interesting because I was doing it in Spain, and I don't speak Spanish. So I was fundraising using like Google Translate, and I literally didn't know anyone. So the fact that I was able to like actually reach the goal was phenomenal.
That is phenomenal.
Awesome, awesome. So here in Jamaica, I understand that you have you have a scholarship here in Jamaica that was born out of sadness, but it's now doing good.
Definitely. The Dwayne Palmer Memorial Fund at the University of the West Indies, very near and dear to my heart. As I was sharing with you before we went on live, one of my friends tragically lost his life, Dwayne Palmer from Seaview, Jamaican, very phenomenal, amazing, kind-hearted person. And I wanted to really just keep his memory alive and also to help people in that area where he's from, Seaview and also Portmore.
And so, I mean, what's that program like?
Yeah, well, how does the scholarship work?
So does it help?
Thank you so much for asking. It's for first-year students at UWI in tourism and also business. And, you know, I wanted them to be as well from Seaview and Portmore area.
Oh, wow. So anybody going into it, they're going into their first year, or you have to already be in the program?
You can be going into the first year, or you can be in your first year.
Okay.
And so persons can go to the bursaries and scholarship section at the university and apply for it?
Yes, via UWI-DEF.
Oh, okay. So definitely we want to encourage persons to do that, because very often, you know, TK, when you speak to the persons in that section of UWI, they'll tell you, people don't apply. People just are ignorant of the fact that they don't know, and so they don't apply. And so they may have 3 scholarships in this area, 3 people apply,
yes,
3 people get.
And that's so unfortunate because, like you said, there's so many people who are hungry for knowledge. They want the education, they want the upliftment, but they just don't have the resources.
Some of the times, the people who need the scholarships most don't apply. The people who maybe could afford it, but they know that they'd rather spend your money than their money, they'll know scholarships, that's the way. And so, you know, I'm just going to take this opportunity. Please, go to your university. Inquire about the scholarships that are available. There are lots of great people like Mia who are making scholarships available so that persons can have the opportunity to study without the pressure of where am I going to get am I going to get deregistered? Am I going to get bumped out of I'm going to have to take a gap year, that kind of a thing. People like Mia are working their network to keep you in school.
Yeah. So, Mia, tell me something. If I'm interested in, you know, I want to help you. I want to figure out how I can bolster your scholarships. What do I do? How do I get in touch with you?
Yes, thank you. So please visit my Instagram. It's at Mia Boykins, LinkedIn, and also my website's miaboykins.com.
And Mia is M-E-A.
Yes. Boykins.
Hey, we just want to make sure.
Thank you very much. Our guest has been Mia Boykins. She's a global business leader, philanthropist, and award-winning humanitarian. After the break, we switch gear. The Beach Wrestling World Series is up next after the break.
I hope it's you them wrestling, you know. It can't be them wrestling, you know.
We're going to wrestle our way to a...
Watch Dennis wrestle after this break.
Stepping every day.